Hello, Karen here. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing some speaking practice today. Last week, I decided to just focus on listening, so today we'll do some speaking practice. We're going to be copying the same guy from last week. So if you haven't watched last week's video, then I suggest that you go watch that first. I'll put a link to that video up here and also down in the description box below. This video is really the second half of that video. So go and watch that video if you haven't watched it yet, and then come back to this point in today's video. And for those who did watch it last week, let's listen to him again now at the slower speed, just to refresh our memories, to help us remember what we studied last time.
Christmas is a great opportunity to really reflect on the past 12 months and have a look at what it was that you achieved in that year. Now for me, it's been a year that's been an exciting year. I've done some new things, I've achieved some cool things.
Okay, now let's practice saying this. His first sentence starts with, Christmas is a great opportunity.
Christmas is a great opportunity.
Christmas is. The first word ends with a consonant sound. Christmas ends with a S sound. Is, the second word, begins with a vowel sound. I. When a consonant sound and a vowel sound are next to each other like this, these two words tend to be said as one long word when spoken. So this becomes Christmas is, Christmas is, Christmas is. Christmas is a great opportunity. Again, is ends with a consonant sound, z, and a is a vowel. Now a, I've talked about this a few times already. These small words tend to be shortened when spoken. So here, a becomes a, the schwa sound. So this becomes a great, a great, a great, a great opportunity. Now great ends with the consonant sound, t, and opportunity begins with a vowel sound, ah. Now opportunity. Chew is the stressed syllable here, and it sounds like chew, like when you're chewing food. Chew. So this is opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. So this becomes one long word when it's spoken. Christmas is a great opportunity. Christmas is a great opportunity. Christmas is a great opportunity to really reflect on. Now, to, this is another one of those small words that tend to be shortened when it's spoken. So to becomes t, the t sound and the schwa sound together. T, to really, to really, to really. To really reflect on. Reflect. Flect is the stress syllable here. So it's reflect, not reflect. 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 Reflect on. Reflect ends with a t sound, a consonant sound, and on begins with a vowel sound, ah. So these two words, when spoken, tend to be joined together to make one long word. So this becomes reflect on, to really reflect on. But today, he decides not to combine these two words. He pauses on the word reflect. So in a way, he's adding stress to this word. He wants you to know that it's important because it's Christmas, so he thinks that it's a good time to really reflect on the past 12 months. The past 12 months. Now, past, we don't say past. That's very American. We tend to follow the British here. Past. The past 12 months. Now, past ends with the t sound and 12 begins with the t sound. So we have two t sounds here. And so when this happens, we tend to drop the first t sound and we just keep the second t. So this becomes the past 12 months. The past 12 months. The past 12 months. And have a look at what it was. Here we have a lot of consonant and vowel sounds right next to each other. Have ends with the v sound, a consonant sound, and a becomes the schwa sound again here. So this becomes haver, haver, haver. Look, this ends with a consonant sound, k, and at begins with a vowel sound, a. But here, at is shortened to the schwa sound again. So this actually becomes look at, look at, look at. Look at what it was. Now what ends with a t sound, a consonant sound, and it begins with the e sound, a vowel sound. So a consonant and a vowel sound next to each other, these two words when spoken tend to be joined together to make one long word. But here, the t sound in what actually changes to something that sounds somewhere between a D and a T. So it sounds more like what it, what it, what it. And the t sound at the end of it is really short. He actually doesn't say it. He stops himself just before he makes the t sound. When you say it, air actually comes out of your mouth when you make the t sound. Put your hand in front of your mouth and say it. It. You'll feel the air coming out of your mouth when you make the t sound. He stops himself just before he makes the t sound, before the air comes out of his mouth. So he says, what it, what it, what it, what it was, what it was, what it was that you achieved in that year, achieved in. Achieved ends with a d sound, a consonant sound, and in begins with an e sound, a vowel sound. So these two words tend to be joined together to make one long word, achieved in. But again, like with reflect earlier, he actually pauses when he says this word, achieved. So in a way, he wants to stress this word. He wants you to pay attention to it because he wants you to really reflect on what you have achieved this past year.
That you achieved in that year.
And year. Now, I've talked about this before as well. Australians don't tend to say the letter R at the end of words. So instead of year, we change the R sound to the schwa sound. So this becomes year, year, year. And I actually have another video planned that will really show this feature or quality of the Australian accent. So keep an eye out for that video. Now for me, the or sound in for actually changes to the schwa sound here. So he doesn't say now for me. He says now for me, now for me, now for me. It's been a year, been a year. Been ends with an n sound, a consonant sound, and this is followed by a vowel sound, which is actually the schwa sound here, which is still a vowel sound. So this becomes one long word. Been a year. Been a year. Been a year. That's been an exciting year. Been an exciting. We have consonant and vowel sounds next to each other again here. And an, this small word, changes to n. And the t sound in exciting, again, it sounds like it's between a D and a T. So this becomes one long word. Been an exciting. Been an exciting. Been an exciting. That's been an exciting year. That's been an exciting year. That's been an exciting year. I've done some new things. I've achieved some cool things. I've achieved. I've ends with a v sound, a consonant sound. Achieved begins with a schwa sound, a vowel sound. So consonant and vowel sound together. This becomes I've achieved. I've achieved. I've achieved. I've achieved some cool things. I've achieved some cool things. I've achieved some cool things. Now let's practice saying the whole thing. And I'd like you to try and say all the sentences with me. I'll say it twice. The first time at a slightly slower speed and the second time at a more natural speed. And then after that, I'd like you to try and say it one last time with him. Okay, let's try it. Christmas is a great opportunity to really reflect on the past 12 months and have a look at what it was that you achieved in that year. Now for me, it's been a year that's been an exciting year. I've done some new things. I've achieved some cool things. Christmas is a great opportunity to really reflect on the past 12 months and have a look at what it was that you achieved in that year. Now for me, it's been a year that's been an exciting year. I've done some new things. I've achieved some cool things.
Christmas is a great opportunity to really reflect on the past 12 months and have a look at what it was that you achieved in that year. Now for me, it's been a year that's been an exciting year. I've done some new things. I've achieved some cool things.
Please give me a thumbs up if you found this video useful so that I know that you like these speaking practice videos, so then I can make more of them for you. Thank you for watching today. Keep practicing, stay safe out there, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye! The first word begins. The first word, Christmas, ends with a I'm so not with it right now. I'm so tired.